Hey, Space Watchers, and welcome to Space Nuggets. This week, I'm diving into the key takeaways from the Handelsblatt Conference on Defense and Security, which took place from February 3rd to the 5th in Berlin. One thing came out crystal clear: Europe, Germany, must rethink its approach to space security and competitiveness. The discussions underscored the urgency of a stronger, independent, and strategically aligned space sector. Let's start with the need for a new space narrative, or Europe must find its own way. One of the biggest challenges highlighted was the insular nature of space discussion. Many experts emphasize the need to break out of the traditional space bubble and engage decision makers across industries. As one of the key takeaways, participants ask, how do we make the strategic and security relevance of space more visible to a broader audience? The getting out of the bubble question. Juliana Süß, SWP, emphasized that the military's involvement in space has always been a driver, stating, "The number of things to remember is that space was initially driven by military reasons and motivation. We shouldn't be naive and think it was purely about expanding the horizons of humanity." Europe must develop its own space path, rather than continuously debating whether to copy SpaceX and Elon Musk. The discussion centered on whether Europe should stop admiring the success of others and start actively shaping its own strategic course. And yes, that also should be a clear direction for the German ecosystem. Second, the strategic and economic role of space. Europe's space sector is technologically strong but lacks execution. As Professor Andreas Knopp from the University of the Bundeswehr bluntly put in, we are technologically advanced in Europe until the point where we write beautiful papers and patents, then we stop. This frustration was echoed by many, highlighting the need for a shift from technologically advancements to practical, market-driven implementations. On the defense front, General Traut from the German Space Command stressed that no single nation can handle space defense alone. Space defense can only be achieved collectively. Even the United States acknowledged that it cannot be done this alone. This underscores the importance of European cooperation to ensure security in space. Third, space and the geopolitical security. A recurring theme was the intersection of space and global security. The war in Ukraine and growing geopolitical tensions have accelerated Europe's need to secure its own space assets and strengthen its military-industrial base. Professor Constanze Stelzmüller from Brookings Institution issued a stark warning about the global political landscape. "I believe that this administration and this US president are convinced that territorial acquisition on the North American continent is their right and will succeed because the targeted territories will submit. Trump believes that economical coercion and geoeconomic pressure are not just a tool for securing bilateral concessions, but for shaping political landscapes." This highlights the broader geopolitical risks, including the potential implications of US policies on European defense strategies. Fourth, the urgency of a European space strategy, getting out of the bubble, Part 2. The call for action was loud and clear. Europe must build a space industry that is self-reliant and fully integrated. Daniel Metzler, ESA Aerospace, pointed out, "It's useless to build satellites if we can't operate them. The entire value chain must be nationally available." And Jürgen Kerner of IG Metall further emphasized that political backings is necessary. "We need a political framework. Some elements can be privately organized, but when it comes to access to space, we need a European political solution." The Handelsblatt Conference reinforced that space is not just a technological endeavor, it is a strategic necessity. Europe must take control of its space destiny, push for stronger collaboration, and ensure its security and competitiveness in an increasingly contested global domain. That's it for this week's Space Nugget. Stay tuned for more insights. Space Watch out.